Welcome to the EKG Guy. If this is your first time, I'm glad you're joining us, and welcome back if you're returning. So we are making our way through this EKG coding reference guide. We're all the way in part 6 here. We're looking at different types of myocardial infarctions, how to localize them. And in this lecture, we're going to look at acute lateral MI, okay, and the findings we expect to find in that. Now, if you don't have access to the coding reference guide, all you have to do is put this link into your search bar, enter your email address, click submit, and from that you'll get an email. And in that email there will be a link, and to that link you'll have access to the reference guide. Okay, so we've made this available, and you'll be able to go to this drop down and follow along with us. Now, if you want more access, more resources, the books in our courses, you can check that out at www.ekg.md, okay, and click on the course. We're going to be starting to upload some of our research in artificial intelligence and things like that. There's a number of clinical trials, a lot of resources available, and many more that we just have yet to upload. So keep an eye out on that. But again, our course and all that material is on there, completely separate from what is available on YouTube. All right, so let's get started. So acute lateral MI, or this lateral MI that's age recent, meaning happened recently or probably acute. So pretty much an acute lateral MI. What are the findings we expect? Okay, now with all these myocardial infarction patterns, we said that there's a few things that we're looking for that determine it. Okay, if it's an acute MI, all right, or this injury pattern, we want to see ST elevation, okay, plus these pathological QAs. Okay, so more than just the injury. All right, now the pathological Q waves tend to come after the ST elevation, but to call it an MI, a myocardial infarction, and not just simply an injury pattern, you want to see those Q waves involved as well. Now, to call something more, older or age indeterminate, that's when you just have the Q waves present and no ST segment deviation. So in this case, we're looking at lateral MI, okay, the acute setting. So in this case, we're looking for ST elevation in the lateral leads. So which leads are those? That's 1, AVL, and then in the precordial leads, V5 and V6. So here's 1, here's AVL, V5 and V6. Okay, you can consider these as your lateral leads. Okay, 1 in AVL, the lateral limb leads, V5 and V6, the lateral precordial leads. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense, giving us a good picture of the left side of the heart, that left ventricle, the lateral portion of it. So we will want to see those findings, both the ST segment deviation or elevation in that leads, as well as those Q waves. So let's look here and see what we see. So notice in V5, you can see these Q waves here. Okay, if you look at the rhythm strip, it's clear as well. All those Q waves are wide. Remember, we want the Q waves to not only be deep, but wide. So at least 30 milliseconds wide, which is about almost one small box. Remember, one small box equals 40 milliseconds. So the width is important, and then all the depth, at least 1 millimeter. Okay. Now, technically, personally, I like to see it a little deeper, as you see here. Okay, I would say these are consistent in V6 as well, but at least 1 millimeter. Okay. Now, it's also important to make sure they're deeper and wide in these lateral leads, because you can have normal Q waves that form in these leads as the left bundle branch is depolarizing the septum from the left to right, and you may see those normal Q waves in those leads, and these ones that we're talking about. Okay, so that's why it's important for them to be wide and deep as well. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And now the ST segment should also be deviated. So notice here the ST segment is above baseline. You have that morphology that is consistent with an injury pattern, okay, even elevated here in V6 as well. Okay, a little hard to see here in AVL. Okay, you can barely even see any QAs, but there's some notching there, and notching is something that you should be aware of and may actually represent a poor ventricle or some scarring that may have taken place. So hard to see any elevation because notice this is actually atrial flutter with a 2-to-1 AV block. So it's sometimes hard to see. You can see these flutter waves that are almost getting in the way of making out the ST segment. Okay, so if you look here in lead 1, you can see these Q waves forming as well and some ST segment deviation. Okay, but it's mostly here in these lateral V5 and V6. You can clearly see it, probably best in V5, and look down here, you can see it the most as well. All right, so 1 in AVL, you're looking for those Q waves and the ST segment deviation or elevation that we see, okay, also in V5 and V6. Remember, we only use this diagnosis when both the pathological Q waves and ST elevation are present. If we only have ST elevation present without any pathological Q waves, we call this a myocardial injury pattern, okay? Now, that's something to keep in mind. So this is an acute lateral myocardial infarction. Okay, so the infarcted tissue, you start to see this from scarring developing, Q waves forming, and so forth. Okay, so the tissue starting to die. The injury pattern, we tend to not call it if it has those pathological Q waves. Now, if it just has pathological Q waves, then we call it an age or old MI. So just to review, you have the ST elevation that you call an injury pattern. You have the ST elevation plus the Q waves that we call an MI or an infarction, okay? And then we just have the Q waves that are forming, and we call this age indeterminate or an old, probably old, so we'll just put old here, okay? Or prior infarct. Doesn't mean it's happened, could have happened years ago, but it also could have happened a few hours ago, okay? Remember, we go through those patterns, those changes that we expect as we progress over time with an MI, and so make sure to check out our lectures, our course to go over that. All right, so hopefully this makes sense. This is an acute lateral MI looking for the ST elevation and the pathological Q waves in the lateral leads, 1, AVL, V5, and V6. Well, that's the end of this lecture. I hope you learned something. Now, just to keep you in mind of our course material that we have available, so again, if you go to our website, www.ekg.md, okay, so this is our website, and what you'll notice is that if you go to the EKG course here, okay, you'll find stuff that's separate. So notice that we have a number of topics, practice material, lectures, a way for you to contribute, and this is the course here over here. So you'll notice we have over 300 videos or so, and that's more on YouTube. There's another 100, more than 100, about 200 videos that are available with the course. So those are separate videos, and this course is really designed to take you from a beginner to advanced interpreter. Okay, so completely separate from what you're getting online for free. Okay, these are course material that comes with it. So notice that you have a book. Okay, and then you also have the pocket guide available, so you can choose which format. They are the same thing, both these book and the pocket guide, different formats. I really like this small one because you can keep it in your white coat if you're in the clinic or in your pocket, and it's really available on the go. Now with the book, you also get videos. So notice these are the videos, okay? And these are a video for every single page in that book. So it's over 30 hours of video. Now there's a number of practice material that I continue to upload there. Okay, we'll have practice questions coming soon. So all of that's available. Again, this is separate from all the free material that you get already. Okay, so this is more high yield stuff. This is what we used to teach our technicians here and our students here at Mayo Clinic. And it's used now among many institutions. So check that out. Now, what it also includes are calipers. So yes, you get calipers with this course. Okay. I don't know anyone else that offers that, but you do get calipers. I think they're very helpful, and they can, if you know how to use them correctly, can help to identify different arrhythmias that are going on. Okay. And then you also get our pocket EKG reference. Okay, this was something we've put together as we were developing course for the fellows, and this is really nice. It has every code, as you saw earlier, laid out there. Very small pocket guide available. I had help with my colleague, Dr. Peter Noseworthy, who's the head of the EKG lab here at Mayo Clinic, in editing it. So this is something that we use and we've found very helpful. So go to the EKG course. You'll see examples of lectures, okay, why we developed this, okay. A lot of it came about from myself struggling with learning EKGs, having a father that was an interventional cardiologist and, still struggling. So my struggle is a struggle that I don't want you to have in learning them, okay. You can read all those introductory books, but honestly, they are not enough, okay, and you find yourself using other resources, which is part of the learning process. I wanted to expedite that process for you and make it less inefficient in pretty much what I struggled with going and learning through EKG. So again, from beginner to advanced level with this course, you get the book, the calipers, the coding reference, video access, okay? And now we're offering 25% off. 25% off. Put that code in on checkout and you'll have yourself 25% off that will even, it's pretty much covers the cost of what we use to print the material. So we don't really make much off it. It's more to help our learners grow and really be able to contribute to patient care. That's why we do this, and we love doing it. So thank you so much for your support. If you have any questions, just leave them below, and we're happy to answer them. All right, have a great day.